Hello visuals and welcome back to the Visual Guys YouTube channel, podcast, whatever, shenanigans, Dan and Dan today. There is no Christopher. There is no Chris with a good reason though. He's as we know, we've discussed before, he's got a new job, he's out and about on the wagons. It's called tramping, which in the UK, tramp doesn't, I don't know, tramp means something else. So I don't know why they call it that. But he's a big boy out on the wagons doing stuff. He didn't get back till really late last night. I've been waiting on the weekend because he, as of yet, as far as I'm aware, well, I think it's a definite, he hasn't seen Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse because he's, like I said, he's been out and about in his wagon and whatnot. So he can't be here to talk spoiler heavy, but I can, visuals. We do have a spoiler-free review up on the channel, but this will be the spoiler heavy review where we'll just give a little bit more of an in-depth look in our thoughts and more of my thoughts, which it's a little bit redundant making this video, I guess, a little bit, because you get my thoughts and feelings and whatnot in the spoiler-free one, but this is the spoiler-heavy one. So it's, you know, it's going to be all kinds of fucky, but as well, with it being solo, I'm sorry, you're going to have to endure my annoying, horrible voice. And whenever I do these solo podcasts, for whatever reason, the more I talk, it's coming on now. I yawn. And it's fucking stupid because I don't feel tired. Well, I do feel a little bit tired. I was busting my ass at work yesterday. Keep going back to that accent, and I don't know why. I was at work, so I am a little bit tired. I'm a fat boy. We all know I'm a fat kid, right? And the sun doesn't have to take it out of my big fat titties. I crashed for like, I don't know, however long. I got in from work, chilled for a little bit, and just absolutely zonked to fuck. But at the time of recording on a Sunday today, what time are we on? It is, is it 2:30? I have been and seen Spider-Man again on my Todd, and I'm going again later, and that will make it 6 times of watching this film, and 6 times is not enough, visuals, because this film is fucking this film is understanding. It is understanding. It's understanding of me. I don't know how, I just tried to save it there, but I couldn't quite do it. Since this film's come out, it's literally took my life over. The day of release, I saw it back to back. All I was doing was going to the cinema, going home, letting Optimus out for a quick piss and whatnot, having a coffee and stuff, going back to cinema. Then it was just rinse and repeat, and it was absolutely beautiful and amazing. But Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, well, it was supposed to be part 1, wasn't it? But they've changed it. The second film, because if you stay till after a few credits, it says Miles Morales will return in Beyond the Spider-Verse. It's not going to be a part 1, part 2, even though it is a part 1, part 2. It's, you know, Infinity War, Endgame shenanigans. Or Twilight. What was the last Twilight called? Infinity Saga Moon, New Saga, the Twilight, Dawn of, fuck knows. Glissily diamond-looking vampires that, you know, played baseball and shit. But it is a part 1, and we're left on a massive cliffhanger, visuals. This, visuals, right? Bold statement, bold claim, I get it. But this could potentially be the biggest comic book ending of all time. And I know Infinity War ended how it did and all that carry on and shenanigans and stuff. But the way this film ends, Miles staring back at another Miles in the universe that should have had this Miles as a Spider-Man, but this Miles, because what is it, 42, doesn't get bit by the spider, because as we find out, the Spot, who is not just a silly, goofy, whatnot villain, he's a key role to the first film now that we know of, and the second film, and then going forward. He caused the spider to leave this world, go into the world that, you know, our normal Miles, cause it to bite him. So there's no spider bite in the universe whether we're in the end of this film. And then because there's no spider, everywhere's shot to shit, and this version of Miles Morales becomes the Prowler. So we end with this amazing, absolutely stupidly beautiful, spine-tingling stare down between Miles and Miles, but one is the Prowler, one is Spider-Man. This universe, Miles' dad didn't make it, his uncle's still alive and whatnot, and that beautiful, amazing Prowler music from the first film comes in. It is so scary. I said it for my other review for Into the Spider-Verse when we did that a few years back, and it is so terrifying, that music. But what a way to end the film. When we end the film, I'm jumping straight to the end, we're not talking about the rest of the film at the minute. where Gwen's going around and gathering up a team to save Miles, our Miles, and she gathers the OGs, people. We're talking Noirs there, we're talking Spider-Ham, Penny Parker's there, then we've got obviously Peter B. Parker's there, we've got Spider-Bite rocking in there. I feel like I'm missing a few here, but the team is ready to rock and roll. And speaking of how this ends with Gwen Stacy's stuff, Gwen Stacy is phenomenal, absolutely fucking phenomenal. Haley Steinfeld, what a fantastic job she's done at voicing Spider-Gwen. And we started the song that they play at the start of the film. Well, it's not the start. There's a moment where after Gwen's hit the drums and what you see her smashing the drums, and then she's going through the subway, going through a train. Sorry, and there's I can't say the girl's name, but you know that girl that sings that have another wanna bite. I just want to have a good time. I want to have a good night. Hold up. That girl, she does this song called Self-Love, and I've had it on absolute repeat since I heard it. It is a phenomenal song, and it just makes... that's why I love with, like... Redbone Come and Get Your Love, because it just takes me back to this amazing, warm, happy feeling of being in the cinema, watching Guardians and stuff. And this song's, oh my, you're going to shoot right. Same with Sunflower and stuff. But what a great song. But we see Gwen going through the train station, well, the train, sorry, and you see these little images of Spider-Man, well, Miles Morales in the background and stuff. And it's straight away, I well up just when that scene comes on, that music hits, and she's talking about how much she wants to see him again, and how she wants to be with him, but she can't and stuff. And then she's talking about the fact that she's had so much to loss and loads to lose out on and everything. Like the Peter Parker of her world who went on to be the Lizard and dying, and she getting chased by the police captain. The police captain's obviously her dad, and she reveals herself, and her dad doesn't accept it at first and whatnot. Then we get this crazy, awesome, amazing battle with medieval Vulture. Takes down this whole entire museum. Spider-Man 2099 and Spider-Woman come in and help save the day, and they take Spider-Gwen to Nueva York, and she becomes part of the team and going to different dimensions and stopping all these different villains from doing what it is they shouldn't be doing. Because the whole film is about the Spot, who was there when they had the dimension. What the fuck's the machine called again? Now the machine they used, Kingpin used to go to different dimensions, because obviously Kingpin wanted his kid in that back. But there was a scientist that worked there that got infused with this machine, and he becomes the Spot, and he can literally travel to go to different dimensions as he wants, at will and when he wants, with using his spots. They have a really cool, fun battle at the start of the film when we see Miles, and he's trying to rob an ATM and stuff. And it's kind of a little bit justified. A lot of these villains lately, when they give him a story like this, you go, you're a little bit justified. Like he says to this store owner, he's like, I can't get a job. Everyone's laughing at me, blah blah blah. This is my skin and stuff. I can't get a job, so we're gonna have to just turn to a life of crime. He's just trying to rob an ATM, but there's a bigger picture unfolding. And he fights Miles. Miles, kind of a little bit ish deals with him, and he says, "Oh, I'm your main villain. I'm gonna be your main villain." He's like, "No, you're just barely villain of the week." And it turns out he is a main villain to Miles towards the end of the film. Because we see how he's created and what he's going to go do, and he's then going to, ultimately by the end of the film, he's going to go take out, he's going to take everything from Miles, like Miles took everything for him. And we learn that these canon events need to happen for individual spiders and whatnot, because it's all part of the thing. When they go to, what the fuck is it called? They fuse Manhattan and India, but it's like, anyway, they fuse that. And the police captain in that world is supposed to die, but Miles saves him, and he causes a canon event not to happen. There's a lot of multiverse stuff in this. We kind of see the tree from Loki. Well, not the tree, but the timeline in this, which is quite cool. We get a lot of beautiful references, which we'll get to in a second, a lot of other shit. And with basically Spider-Man 29 is trying to make sure these things happen, because every Spider-Man has to, or every spider should and will always have to suffer a loss, which is why I love Spider-Man, because no matter what he has to do, he always has to go through shit. He always has to have an uphill battle. He always has to go against whatever it is, that feels like there's a million things against him, and it's just him. Like the fact that, Peter Parker, for example, holds everything back. He could be in these amazing, massive, huge fights. The guy can lift 10 tons. He has a crazy punch and force power. It's like Green Goblin could rip his world apart, or Venom, whoever. And it's like he still holds back because he still needs to keep that Peter Parker side of him, that humanity, the bit that keeps him a hero and stuff. Because really, a lot of these villains, he could punch and they could literally just obliterate. But he seems to hold a lot back. That's why I love him. But yeah, we find ourselves in another situation where Peter Parker's got the weight of the entire world literally on his back. And Miguel O'Hara, played by Oscar Isaac, again another fantastic job at the voice acting. He says, "Listen, your dad needs to go and die." I'm jumping here, there, and everywhere here, but fuck it. We're in the oh shit! I just hit the microphone. We're in the Spider-Verse now. Visuals. We're just gonna go from different bits to different bits, and he's basically saying, "Listen, no, your dad's gonna have to die. It's part of the story. We get a look at this timeline of all these different Spider people who have suffered and holding the loved ones, whether it be the Uncle Ben's or the police captain, whoever. We even get to see Andrew Garfield holding Captain Stacy when he passed away in the first Amazing Spider-Man. Then we do get to see a little shot of when Uncle Ben dies from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, the first one, and Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man looking back and stuff. And it's like, obviously, because what you're supposed to do, because Spider-Man's like, we can save both, isn't this what we do? We're Spider-Man and blah, blah, blah. And imagine being told, whoever it is that you love most in this entire world, like, for example, Optimus. If somebody said to me, right, Optimus needs to die, and you're like, well, no, that's not fucking happening then. I know the dog's an annoying little bastard who destroys my Lego, but that's not happening. That dog is my life. But if you do that, Dan, the world's going to fucking think I know you could say it's selfish to hold one dog against the entire world, but Miles has been told, your dad or your entire world. I still can't blame him for trying to get out there and get on his way and try and save the day and help, because he truly believes that he can save both. And of course he's going to think that he's the ultimate good guy. He's at this moment in time, he's arguably the best of all Spider-Men in terms of his approach to it, saying, Spider-Man's what we do. We save everybody. Everybody we possibly can. We can't just sit back and watch and stuff. And imagine trying to say it to somebody. Surely, I know Miguel O'Hara was expecting a bit of pushback and whatnot. That's why he kind of had to force him in his little prison thing, which lasted not long at all, because Spider-Punk was there. Spider-Punk, again, voiced phenomenally. He was amazing in this. You remember, use your palm. You get all the electric out. You know what I mean, my man, dem? Because he's so cockney in this. It's amazing. And he gets out and escapes and whatnot. But imagine just being... You can't blame Miles for going out there and trying to save the day and whatnot. But then we get this amazing, one of the best chases and the best... anything I've ever seen in a film of all time. Bear in mind, before we go forward, remember, visuals, I am extremely biased. Anything Spider, this to me, I need to say this bit without welling up. This is where it always gets me. I'm such a fucking girl for Spider-Man. The Spider story is the most important story in my entire life. It's the most important thing to me ever, and it's what made me me. I adore everything Transformers, and I adore everything Batman and Captain America, but it all is shoot-off effects from my first initial love of Spider-Man. He's the first real superhero I can remember, not visualizing. I don't visualize Spider-Man, he's already created, but, the first superhero I interacted with, really, got to know that world, and I just fell in love with him so much, and then I branched into, okay, so we go over here, there's a bit of Iron Man stuff, okay, go a bit further, there's this other world of, other heroes, it's called the DC world, with Wonder Woman and everybody, and it all started from there. So when we do a Spider story, it will always be my favourite story ever told, and that's why I hold the first film and any other Spider-Man film that come before it in such high regard. Before everybody suddenly remembering how much they love Andrew Garfield, I was always on the team of I love him because of certain things he brought to Spider-Man. I thought he told that story so well. So whenever Spider story is being told, no matter who our main Spider is, I will always have you could probably say a very biased. But anyway, we get this crazy, beautiful sequence and this amazing, heart-wrenching speech by Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099, said to Miles on top of this it's like a motorway thing that's going into, like a rocket thing that's going into the moon, and He's probably giving it, it's like, you shouldn't be Spider-Man, the Spider was supposed to bite you, was supposed to bite somebody else, the Spider-Man would still be alive in your world if you didn't get a bit and all this carry on. You're like, oh my God, Miguel, leave him alone, because Miguel is this, we've seen Miguel O'Hara in very vicious and deep and dark moments, because he's not a very conventional Spider, he's not a Spider-Man. We don't know him in a sense of a Spider-Man how we usually know our Spider-Man. He's very different and a lot more hard-hitting, and doesn't pull his punches with his words and stuff. And Miles, I love the way Miles like, nah, I'm gonna do my own thing, and he just chucks everybody off, goes and gets away. I love how Peter B. Parker split off from the chase of pursuing Miles, and he has a bit of a word with him and stuff. But that ultimately doesn't go well because his bracelet goes off and he's like, oh, we've got your location, stay there, run away. Because obviously he has a deep connection with Miles because he was the one that trained him and showed him everything and taught him this and said that and, showed him about this world and that world and everything, which was just so fucking heartwarming to see Peter, played by Nick Miller from New Girl. I can't remember his real name. He'll always be Nick Miller anyway. What the fuck is his name? Fuck knows. Andy Samberg as well as Scarlet Spider. Wow. Scarlet Spider is one of my favourite Spiders without a shadow of a doubt, but he is one of my standout characters in this. He's not in it for a great deal, but it's just, he's done so friggin' well. But yes, after the big old chase sequence, Miles gets back to the machine that will send him back to his universe, but because, of course, he's bitten by the spider that should have been for Earth, I'm sure it was 42, I'm doubting myself now, the machine that sends him back reads it as that and goes, okay, he's come from there. Sends him back to this this other world, but Miguel explains all of this to him. Well, it all gets explained how it works to him. And for a split second after I'm first watching this, I'm thinking, okay, he's back. He gets to his house. He's explaining to his mum. They have this deep, beautiful conversation. It's like, I'm Spider-Man. She's like, who? And then you go, hang on a sec. That machine's not going to spend him in the right spot. His uncle walks in. His uncle says, come on, we've got a job. They go upstairs. And that's when we get this fucking beautiful, outstanding ending. Which just give me absolute rage and fucking nipple-ons as we speak visuals. I've got goosebumps galore. And so we get the beautiful ending. But the journey between all this, because Miles wants to see all of his friends and that, but they know they can't because Miguel's explained everything to all of these different spiders about how Miles is, is not, Destiny didn't make him. Well, in a way, right, the kid is kind of weird. And Miguel says to these, the other spiders off screen, they explain about Miles, what interacting with could mean and all this shit. You're just better off leave him on his own, leave him over there, let him do his thing and stuff. He's saying about how he shouldn't have been a spider, that spider was never meant for him, blah, blah, blah. But if you sort of believe in one of the people of, what will happen, everything's, everything happens as fate intends it and all that kind of stuff. So all of this shit happened and building up to these points of the machine with Kingpin, that the Spot being created, the Spot bringing the spider from 42 to Miles' universe to give, all of that happens for a reason. So surely the overall grand scheme of things, the multiverse intended for that to happen. I know there was some people interacting with it, but everything happens for a reason. So surely it was part of the entire plan. I get what Miguel's saying, but maybe we'll find out more about this in the next film, Beyond the Spider-Verse. I don't know when it's due out, but I'm expecting we'll get some more on this. But this film visuals, it gets me so much like the first one does. The way the music's integrated as well, because obviously the music, it's not like out there as much as like Guardians of the Galaxy, for example, but there's a lot of more, because it's New York, it's Brooklyn and stuff, so it's more like hip hop and it's R&B and it's music that's part of the culture of that part of the world and stuff, and it's integrated so well and it's so amazing, and you fall in love even more with Miguel's parents, because obviously they ultimately want the best for him. You fall in love with Gwen even more. I've always loved Spider-Man 2099 regardless, but we see another side of him in this film, which is great. Spider-Woman's fantastic, but this film does and will always mean so much to me visuals. If it's just going to be a trilogy when we get Beyond the Spider-Verse, or if they're going to give us more, I don't know, but these stories, Into the Spider-Verse, will always be in my top 3 films of all time, because I'm having to mix my top 3. It was number 1. Guardians, I feel like Guardians might have pushed it out, but I'm saying that because of my absolute hatred, and my number 1 thing that I cannot stand in this world is animal cruelty. And I don't know if it was just like, I was looking at it with clouded judgment because I wanted this dickhead, the High Evolutionary, to die. But either way, in whatever order, the Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse are in my top 3. Done, dusted, completed. There's no arguing about it for me. For me personally, obviously you guys might see it differently. I think as it stands as well, actually, it's the highest rated on all platforms, highest rated Spider-Man film. I'm pretty sure it is. Oh my god, I'm completely overlooking the fact that we get to go to the Tom Hardy's Venom world, and we see, I can't remember her name, the old lady in the shop. The Spot comes in and he's like, oh, hello, she's at the shop and whatnot. We go to an amazing Lego world, which is so friggin' cool, and he's been part of this team for ages, and Miguel's like, thank you, Peter, you're one of our best and stuff. That's so cool. We get Donald Glover as the Prowler, because we do know that he's around in the MCU in 1999, 99. Did I say too many 99s there? Fuck knows. He's definitely around there because Tom Holland's Peter Parker interacts with him. He says, I've got a nephew in this neighborhood. And he's there as the Prowler. So that, I'm assuming that means and makes it canon it's now official that in that world, when we see Donald Glover, the next time you go back and watch Homecoming, you'll know that, okay, that is the Prowler. Therefore, there is also a Miles in our world, in the MCU world, I should say, who should then go on to be Spider-Man. And there is talks of a live action. I can't remember the lad's name that plays Miles in this, but I would give it to him. He's already got the heart and the soul and the spirit and the embodiment of Miles. Please just give it to him. I don't know if he's done any live action acting before, but they should 100% give it to him. He's amazing. But Donald Glover, for fuck's sake, wow! The Sony game Spider-Man. Obviously we got our cowboy, our Diney boy. We've got fucking the old animated series one where it's still in that art style, and he's swinging in with the music in the background and stuff. There's so many Spideys. Please, visuals, let me know in the comments below which Spideys you noticed, because you could watch this film a million times and you would still fail to see like a lot of different Spideys. Obviously, we get to see Future Foundation in the background. There's what do you call it? The one with the bag on his head after the whole thing with the Fantastic Four, and you have to leave with the bag on his head. There's so many spiders in this, and it's just unbelievable. It's literally a spider orgy, and that's all I've ever wanted. Not a literal one. That would be a real one. That would be actually fucking disgusting, especially because I'd be a boy and the girl would eventually eat my head and shit. No, thank you. But visuals, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is phenomenal. It's outstanding. It gets an infinity out of 10. It's so funny. It's still well, yeah, it is. Along with the first one, the most amazing, most beautiful animated film you will ever watch. It is the greatest animated film, without a shadow of a doubt, with the greatest animation. The way that they integrate the noise and the sound effects and the words into the art style of these stories is just out of this fucking world. It just looks amazing. The crazy, weird 3D effect where it looks like you should be wearing 3D glasses, and that effect still happens in the background. The moment where Gwen and Miles are on top of a building having this speech, and at the end of that song I keep playing, it says, in every other universe Gwen falls for Spider-Man, in every universe it doesn't end up so well, and you're like, oh my god, this is just fucking killing me. Even the artwork for the post this, where it's like you can either have Miles upside down and the rest of the spiders all upright, or twist it around or whatever. The artwork for the posters and shit for this film were just, again, phenomenal. But this film, it smashes in every box. It will pull at your heart. It's a great spider story. It gives you a real massive look, because when a lot of people look at Spider-Man, they just see, okay, it's the guy that shoots web and has a bit of a fight with the Green Goblin, and here we go home. But there's so many layers and loads of characters. Don't get me wrong, Bruce Wayne and Tony Stark, loads of these characters have complete and utter depths, but I truly feel like Peter Parker and Spider-Man and the world of Spider-Man has the most amount of layers and depths in a single story, in a single character. There's so much there, and there's so much emotion and so much at stake and so much weight that this character has to endure and stuff and go through. But the film is phenomenal. The film is outstanding. I laughed, I cried, I got excited, I got happy, my jaw was dropped for many different reasons. It is absolutely beautiful. It is an infinity out of 10. I love it with all my fucking heart. So visuals, please go check out Across the Spider-Verse ASAP. I feel like there's bits I'm missing because I'm used to doing these back and forward with Chris and him giving his thoughts. I go, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like I've covered most bases. But yes, let me know what you think of the film anyway, because I'm assuming some of you guys would have seen it by now. Hopefully you guys have anyway. And please let me know in the comments below. We'll be back next week. Fingers crossed with Chris. Can't blame him though, because it's work-related stuff. The guy's trying to get his fucking job and all that in order, and his life all sorted and shit. Can't spend every minute of every day to chat with me talking about fucking Spider-Man. But next week, hopefully, but hopefully with Chris, have a spoiler-heavy review for Transformers. So that's out on Thursday. I took Thursday, Friday off work, so I can go and watch it multiple. I probably won't do this as many times as Spider-Man, because I don't know. It was just Spider-Man was something else. But visuals, regardless. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of my spoiler-heavy review in the comments below, and just let me know what you think of whatever. And tell Chris hi. Say Chris hi. You donut. But visuals, thanks so much for watching. You guys are literally the best, and we've got to end it this way. Remember to always keep being you. Please, always keep being you, and keep on web slinging on.